And welcome to the I Hate Rappers podcast. I'm your host, Greggy Westside, and today we have
Rey Àngel in the building. Like I said, the illest punk in the 216, 419, and the OHIO.
So Illis Punk. First time I've ever heard that phrasing. So why is that your, I guess, nickname, slogan, whatever?
Man, because I'm just on that wave, bro. Like, as you know, like, my music is definitely inspired by, like, pop punk mixed with, like, with rap and shit. So to really try to get the best of both worlds, man, I really try to absorb that, like, the world of just punk music and pop punk, you know what I mean? So if I'm going to be in this lane, bro, I got to be a punk.
Yeah, I guess. I mean, I feel like the music can be more punk rather than you being a punk. You know what I'm saying? So, like, how would you classify what a punk is?
Man, I guess, well, that's a good question. I guess everyone kind of has their own standard of it. I know some people, when they say punk, they kind of mean it in, like, a bad way. Like, they say, like, punk bitch or, like, something like that. But honestly, when I think of, like, punks, I just think of, like, just guys who just know how to get wild. You know what I'm saying? Guys who know how to get wild, know how to get crazy. And I'm definitely one of them.
So just punk rock.
Yes,
punk
sir.
rock.
Just punk energy, bro.
No, I feel you. I got a couple questions that I wrote down. So
Yes, sir.
I sent every artist out a survey before they come on here, just so I can get a kind of a grasp of what they have, what they don't have, where they're
Yeah.
at in their career and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So I saw you don't have a TikTok.
I actually had a TikTok, but I actually just recently deleted my TikTok.
Why?
Because, man, so, like, I know the content thing as an artist is, like, super important and all that other stuff, but, and I feel like I was super consistent with it. The one day I was looking at my analytics, and I feel like it says I had a decent amount of views, but then when I was looking at how many people were actually watching the video, numbers weren't really adding up. You know what I'm saying? And I just feel like personally I have a lot more engagement, interactions, and overall just, my results out of posting on Instagram, even on, like, YouTube shorts. So I feel like I just want to shift my focus more on something that I know actually works.
Well, don't you think that possibly shifting what the content is on TikTok, or the length of it, or the quality, the kind of how you create the content, whether it's a vertical
sure.
or a horizontal, don't you feel like that could have worked out instead of just deleting the whole, like, now you're just like,
Maybe.
you just don't have it?
Yeah, for sure. That's definitely stuff I could definitely look into 100%.
The way my co-host broke it down last episode that we had recording, he said basically social media is a drug, and everybody who uses social media is essentially just a crackhead. So if you are the person who is selling on these social media sites, then these social media sites are selling to these crackheads, basically.
Yeah, we the dope dealers.
So if they're on Instagram and then they're just bored of Instagram, they want to go to Twitter, they want to go to TikTok, they want to go to Facebook, they want to go to whatever else. You should be posting on all avenues, so that way they can get their fix of
100%,
social media
so
or drugs.
So you're getting traffic within all ways, you know what I'm saying? Not just one lane, but this lane, that lane. 100%, man, for sure.
Yeah. All right, so also, how do you think people will discover more of your platforms after already seeing one of them if you don't have a link in bio service?
Honestly, I think it's also kind of just reaching out in other avenues. You know what I mean? TikTok, for example, is a very popular platform, and I know for artists specifically, there's a lot of people going on there. So one thing I feel like as an artist, I'm in the pop punk lane or whatever you want to call it because I want to be different. So then when I look at music promo strategies, I try to look at things that people aren't doing. Like, for example, I know stuff I've been recently really putting attention to is ads on Spotify itself. You know what I mean? When people are listening to music, I feel like that's the best way to promote music is when other people are already listening. Same thing with YouTube, man. Like, those two things in particular, they have some crazy features that, in my opinion, that's why I like to, focus more stuff on like that, you know what I mean? Because I think they are more in favor of actually promoting music rather than just putting a video out there.
Right, but I mean, my point more of is if you don't have the link in bio, then how can somebody get from your Instagram to your Spotify with ease?
I mean, that's a good question, man. I do have my link in my bio.
What's the link in your bio? Where does it go to?
It goes, so it's like a mastered link. So it has everything from my Apple Music to all my streaming platforms.
See, no, that's the link in bio service.
Yes, sir, man. I got that. And also,
you said you didn't.
No, I just don't have TikTok.
No, on the survey you put that you didn't have a link in bio service.
Oh, well, yeah, my bad.
Okay.
I must have went through that.
Well, I guess that answers that question. All right, so what's the release that you're promoting today? Is it already out? Or?
Yes, it is already out. It's my newest song. It's called Fearless. I know people who really rock with my music. They really like my song called Wrath. And it's essentially just like a rage song. You know what I'm saying? And people kept telling me to make another one. So That's what this is.
So it's just a sequel to it, basically?
I would say it was more of like an upgrade. You know, at that time, I feel like I was still new to everything. So I feel like as an artist and someone who, you know, masters and produces all my music, I tried to, you know, always try to learn something new and always tried to, you know, upgrade my sound. You know what I mean? So I would say that Fearless is a more upgraded version of Wrath rather than the sequel.
Makes sense. I don't know. The way I see it, if it's, you know, if it's influenced off of it, I don't know. I mean, it could be, upgrades.
It definitely is
saying,
influence for sure. If people didn't tell me to drop something like it, it probably wouldn't have dropped.
Are they both high energy type of songs? Like, what's
100%.
what's the vibe that you would get off of the new one?
Fucking just raging. I know, for example, I tried to test around with like the screaming and like kind of like enter like screamo with it, but with it being new to it, you know, it was cool. People like it, so I can't say, you know, nothing too bad about it. But I say with this one, I feel like I'm just a lot better vocally compared to when I would drop that song. So I feel like I was able to take that screamo to kind of a different length. You know what I'm saying? And just give it like way more energy.
Makes sense. So Pierre Bourne,
yeah, bro.
says your biggest influence?
100%.
All right. So why is he your biggest influence on the non talking about your artist side, just talking about Pierre Bourne? What made him kind of stick for you? For him to end up being the person that influences the most?
Honestly, hands down, the simplicity of his production. Pierre's beats are very, very straightforward. And if you know punk music, it's also very simple as well. So with me trying to merge punk with trap hip-hop, you know, I'd like to reference Pierre Bourne a lot because he doesn't do too much with, like, at least in terms of the drums. All of it is all within melody. So that's kind of how I like to look at my beats too. I try not to do too much with it. It's very simple, and I've honestly kind of just looking at like stuff that's blown up. It seems like the simple stuff kind of just hits harder. You know, that's what people gravitate towards more, is the simple stuff. So I really like how he kind of has the simplicity in his production.
So is it more of the production side than the artist side of him?
I definitely really fuck with both, but 100% the production. 100%.
Yeah, no, I mean, that's what I tend to hear with the artist-producer combos. It's like it's really sided to one side or the other. Like Pierre always sided towards the production, the beats. Kanye obviously always sided towards
for sure
being Kanye.
Yeah.
So, yeah, can't really avoid that.
Yeah, man. For me, it definitely depends on like other artists, or I guess depending on like what song. I know besides like just like the pop punk lane, I also try to like merge other genres. Like I have a song that's more of like an R&B field. I have songs that are more like, I would say EDM ish, you know what I mean? So I think it definitely, like, at least my vocals, it like I try to get inspiration from like other things from that, you know what I'm saying?
Who's the first artist or who's the first band that you really got into and really clicked for you in your life?
Honestly, Nirvana. I was going to say Green Day. That's the one that really, I would say, motivated the sound. But I would not have checked out Green Day if it wasn't for Nirvana, for sure.
That's fair.
Yes, sir.
Mine was Lil Wayne.
Really?
Yeah, love Lil Wayne. That's my guy, man.
Hey, he did make a rock album, too. He was one of the first ones to do it.
Yeah.
Before it was cool.
Yeah. It was all right. It was all right.
I know a lot of people have a bunch of mixed opinions on that.
I mean, album. I don't know, man. Carter 3, Carter 4, you know, that kind
Carter
of piece,
2,
like right in between.
On.
I mean, I'm saying more of that sound around that era of time.
Yeah, for sure.
You know, Carter 4 was like really when it just like clicked for me.
Bro.
Like, this is that guy.
That has a lot of hits on it too. Like, I know I'm still like younger, so a lot of like Lil Wayne's earlier shit I kind of had to like actually go back and listen to. But like listening to like Carter 4 now, and then like there's hella songs that not even on the radio that my brother was blasting when I was younger, and I'm like, shit, I know this. So yeah. I know what you mean.
So how many shows have you done?
Honestly, I definitely don't keep track.
Yeah, keep track. More than like 10?
I would say more than 10, yeah.
So what's the biggest performance that you've had?
Biggest performance, hands down, was, so one thing I kind of do is I like to pass out like little flyers and stuff. And I was working at Crocker Park at the time, so I would pass out flyers at Crocker Park. Long story short, I gave a guy a flyer, and he invited me to perform at a house party in Chicago. So I went to Chicago, performed at this house party. My brother gave me some shrooms, so your boy was lit. And let me tell you, this was the littest crowd I have ever had, bro. Chanting my name, moshing for me, bro, on some like real life rock star shit, man. And
Are you sure it wasn't the shrooms just talking to you?
No, I got videos of that shit, my man. Whole
he
performance
said,
on YouTube.
I got receipts, y'all.
Whole performance on my YouTube.
So what was the performance filmed on? Just a phone or?
No, man, I record most of my content on a camcorder. And I
like an old school one?
Yes, sir, man. People tell me that, like, well, because of my inspiration is like pop punk and like emo, people tell me that they like get like early 2000s vibes like out of my music, and I try to think of like imagery, you know what I mean, and kind of like the aesthetic of me as an artist. I feel like upcoming people don't really like think about that too much. They kind of just like release music and not really think about them as a brand. Mm-hmm. So I know to kind of like strengthen that imagery, you know, I got the 2000s camcorders, you know, to really mess with that nostalgia vibe, you know what I'm saying?
Feel you for sure. You got any rapper beef with anyone?
Nah, bro. I don't play in beef, bro. I just be making
Had
money, making music, bro. If you got a problem with me, that shit's on you, for real.
I had to check, man. So do you know our definition of artist and rapper on this podcast?
Nah.
Have you ever listened to one of these?
I was watching a little bit. I was watching.
He was watching the clips. He was watching the clips. Yeah. No, so our definition of an artist is somebody who takes care of all of the business, all of the content, all of the creation of the music, making sure that 100%. It is as perfect as they can get it to, or just as perfect as they can get it to without getting it out, or with getting it out in a reasonable amount of time. Mm-hmm. A rapper is somebody who just wants to just hop in the booth and not really care, and you know their link in bio is Apple Music, you know. And their bio says like DM me for features or like to book, and then you DM them, they don't get back to you, you know, that type of stuff. So just somebody who really doesn't care about the whole grand scheme of everything. Mm-hmm. So what's the biggest rapper thing that you have seen firsthand? You don't have to say who it is if you don't want to, but we would love if you did. But what's the biggest rapper thing that you have seen happen in front of you?
Yeah, I definitely don't want to mention names, especially because this guy is definitely a super dope artist. So.
Oh, but he did some whack shit.
Not necessarily some whack shit, but I feel like some people, you know what I mean, like just don't know when to kind of make the next move. You know what I'm saying? Basically, this guy, I met him through a showcase. You know what I mean?
Don't block the microphone, by the way.
Oh shit, my bad. Well, I met him through a showcase, and you know I got his info and all that, and we follow each other on Instagram. I talk to dude, whatever, and I just can't help to think I'm looking through his stuff, and he's got like a decent amount of views. He's got a music video that has like 2 million views, and he has he's got like features like from like decent artists and all that, and he's super dope and all, but I can't help to think like, bro, like if you got all this, what the hell you still doing performing at showcases? You know what I'm saying? So I feel like one thing I don't understand about rappers is like sometimes you gotta learn to elevate. You know what I'm saying? Like when you gotta make the next move instead of doing the same repetition. You know what I mean? Yeah,
I feel that for sure. That reads. I mean, some people are just internet artists, and some people translate that into in-person basis. There's this one artist that was on tour. She had a show that we booked, and her internet success, it was like 1 point something million on TikTok. That translated into a real life audience. But I've seen plenty of artists that just, you know, 15, 20K online, pulling 3 people to a show.
I'm thinking like, even the showcase thing aside, bro, like, do you got money from this shit? Like, you know what I mean? Like,
streams aren't enough. Streams aren't enough for money. They don't pay jack. You know what I'm saying? You get 1 million on Spotify, it's $2,000.
Damn.
Like getting to 1 million in ads is probably like 15, 20K if like crazy. On like the high side, you know. So like
that's facts.
It's like way too big of a loss.
Yeah, so. for sure.
Yeah. So what's the biggest stream song you got?
My biggest stream song is my song Mixed Up, featuring my man Angel from Chicago. Shout out to him.
So Rey Àngel featuring Angel?
Yeah. Well, it was, so at the time I only had 2 songs, right? Mm-hmm. Well, I guess only 1 song. And I knew I wanted to drop a song that was going to be a banger. And I feel like with my kind of sound, it might be a little different now, but at the time, I feel like I would send it to people, and like they would always tell me they didn't know how to rap on it. Like people would always be like, "Oh, bro, I can rap on anything." I'll send them some shit, never hear from them again. So it was hard for me to get a feature from someone. So I had this guy on Snapchat, and he had like a group story of just a bunch of producers, artists, whatever. And I posted, I was like, "Who wants to hop on this song?" He happened to slid up. He sent me the feature back that day, and I thought it was super fucking dope. I'm like, bro, I had to get the song, bro. What's your rap name? Angel.
Ray Angel
I'm like,
featuring
fuck.
Angel. How'd you get your name?
How did I get my name? So, shout out to my brother. It was definitely inspired by him. People call him, his name is Gennaro, and people call him like Naro, like King Naro and shit. And I kind of wanted to do something like that, but still kind of interpret like the Hispanic in it because, you know, I'm Hispanic. So instead of just King Angel, Ray is king in Spanish, so it translates to King Angel in English.
Word. What's your actual first name?
My first name is Angel.
Oh, okay, all right, but that makes sense. That makes sense. All right, I thought it was Ray whole time.
Nah, everyone thinks that, bro. Everyone, I thought your name was Ray. I'm like, nope, my name is Angel.
No, my name's King. Boy,
Yeah,
no.
you better say that shit. Bow down to the king.
All right, so any last words before we get going?
Shit, honestly, thank you for, you know, having me on this show,
course.
man. It's super dope to be on here. I can't wait to see how things turn out. You know, shout out to everyone who's rocking with me, you know what I'm saying? Shout out to my man Wolves and Indianapolis, you know, just, you know, shout out to everyone rocking with me.
All right, bet. So, do you know how to sign off with us? I know you haven't watched the episode.
Nah,
No?
I don't.
All right, so it goes, I hate rappers, but I love artists. Are you ready?
All right.
All right. All right, guys. We're going to see you soon. I hate rappers,
rappers,
but I love artists. See you guys.
For sure.